the next will be Devil May Cry 3. That will be next. We'll be doing that one tomorrow. So about this continuity stuff with Devil May Cry, right? Like, here's the thing. Love Arcade background. Yeah, I found it. And I was like, I need to use this. For just like chill, just talking session. All I do is lab stuff anyway, so it's like, man, no. Let's adjust this a bit. There we go. That should be fine, I think. We can lower it a little more, just in case. So about the continuity stuff for Devil May Cry, right? Devil May Cry continuity is in a weird spot because of the constant reordering of games and stuff like that. For the longest time, it was always Devil May Cry 3, 1, 4, then 2. And then when 5 was being worked out, they shifted the continuity around. And the anime got brought into the continuity for what it is. From what I remember, the anime comes after 1, but before 4. And 2 was meant to just be the end point still. But then 5 happened. So when 5 happened, they said, we can't possibly make 2 be after 5. There's no way we can do it like that. And from there, it went 3, 1, 2, 4, and then 5. You could have done this before. It could have made sense still if you would have done it that way. I think. It is what it is, though. Devil May Cry, like I said, Devil May Cry's continuity is weird. It's strange, right? Let's see. And for a time, Capcom actually removed 2 entirely from the overall timeline. I mean, that says a lot because you could do that. You could literally do that with Devil May Cry 2, and it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make any kind of difference at all to what the overall canon is. It's spotty at best, right? But you literally don't need DMC2 in there. You don't. So I don't know what they planned on doing. I don't understand where they're going to go with certain things. As far as whether or not Dante escaped at the end of Devil May Cry 5, like, if he didn't escape, I would be more surprised. Especially since by the end of 5, Dante and Virgil are on good terms now. Which, that's something to consider. Because the thing is, there are a lot of demons where it's like they are not, absolutely not, going to deal with either Dante or Virgil alone, right? Now these guys are on the same page. Now they're on the same page and fighting together. you couldn't deal with one. Now they're fighting on the same side. Everything is screwed. Everything is screwed. It's like, what do you do after that? What do you do after that? There's no more threats to be had outside of Mundus. They they sealed Mundus away. They didn't kill him. They still have to actually deal with Mundus. Motivation is eternal, Virgil. The fact they fight everything while fighting each other sends you. Yeah, like they're sparring with each other and everything just shows up. Like, oh hey, Sparta blood. And it's like, no, 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 no. Do not go after them. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. Again, you can't handle one of them. Why would you go after the both of them together? Could go after Nero. That'd be a worse idea. That would be a worse idea. You go from getting impaled and sliced up 6 different ways to getting possibly impaled, possibly sliced up, lit on fire, and tossed around the room by a giant hand. That's punching you while it's throwing you. There's no, 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 no. Nope. I would not go after Nero. I couldn't do it. Not knowing that, at least. Like, going after him besides? Maybe. Like, if I didn't know, I would wish that I hadn't, because Nero's Nero. But, no, no, no. No. No way. Then again, Devil May Cry 5 is just a high point in itself. It is. Devil May Cry 5 is a very good game. Devil May Cry 5 is very, very good. Personally, it's my favorite one. Like, I actually like Devil May Cry 5 more than 3, more than 4. There are nuances that certain people would actually like say that the games kind of suffer a bit for not really having, so to speak, inertia within the movement system and everything is weird compared to Devil May Cry 4. Just as an example, but yeah. I think in general it's more than fine. It's handled really well. Love DMC5's combat system. Same. Same. It's nothing you can't adjust yourself to. Yeah. Training room took like 400 hours of your life on PC. It took 400 hours of my life on console. um Devoid TM. Devoid TM patent pending. You know, like I still have like combo clips and stuff from that peppered on my Twitter and stuff like that. It's it's really fun. Definitely would need to like, mess with it and kind of get my legs back, especially if I'm gonna play 3 and then 4 and then 5, because those are gonna be some weird adjustments to make. Coming off of playing 5 and getting used to the way those systems and stuff work, I definitely would need like to take time and get a lot of stuff together because there's stuff that Dante doesn't have in 3 and 4 that he has in 5. There's stuff Nero has in 5 that he doesn't have in 4. And just getting used to the way the system generally feels again, it would be, a little bit of a challenge. Plus, my issue is I've never really been particularly good with Dante. You know? DMC2 is based. Dante is good and based in game. Are you okay over there, Nitos? Are you good? Do we do we need to check on you over there? I think it sounds like we need to check on you. Not wait, you don't know the reference. I'm okay, sorry. Nah, I don't know the reference. You threw me off. You threw me off. Let's see. Still stuff you're trying to learn, like reverse DT, shotgun, gunslinger, jump cancel. Yeah. Dante's crazy, right? Like, there's so much that you can do with Dante in general. In every game from 3 upwards, it gets absolutely insane. Um, and that's part of why I'm not really good with him. I'm not like utterly terrible, mind, but there are billions of people, I'm sure, that outdo me in regards to Dante play. Uh, it's weird for me, especially depending on the game. Like there's certain things about Devil May Cry 3 that like I was able to kind of click with, like using Agni and Rudra and the Cerberus. Those are my favorite weapons. Agni and Rudra and the Cerberus. Those are my go-tos. The what was it? The Spiral, the sniper rifle, and the Artemis. Those were my favorite firearms. So it's like, yeah, those are definitely cool. I like the way those work. Felt nice. But then Dante doesn't have any of those in 4 and doesn't really have any equivalents. So it gets really weird, especially if you got used to using a lot of stuff in 3, right? Um, but then 5 loops it back around and brings back a form of the Cerberus nunchucks. And the Cerberus nunchucks in 5 also have like transformations and stuff to them. So you can do all this with like holding buttons and pressing directions and all this other stuff. And it's like, oh, you give me loads of options. And I love having all these options. But keeping a lot of this in mind is the trick to that, especially in the heat of a moment. So it gets spotty just trying to keep up with everything sometimes. But it's doable. Old wacky Woohoo Pizza Man goes absolute sicko mode at all times. He does. He does. Dante is Dante. It's the best way to put it. He's absurd. He's absolutely insane as a character, and just in general, it's nutty. like it's absolutely crazy to me that like any weapon that he touches, he instantly knows how to use. It's just instantaneous knowledge of whatever he picks up, right? And that terrifies me because like what Y- what? How? How does that even work? It took like 19 years to get finely rendered pizza in video games. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna sit here and talk about like video games that did a good job rendering food, we have to bring up like Final Fantasy 15. You know, we can't bring that up as a topic and not mention that. Now we just need Dante to get in contact with Raiden and all his tools. You love Final Fantasy 15? I'm iffy about 15. Um, for me, being far more used to action games and the like, right? 15 to me feels like clunky and unresponsive, and it also feels like it kind of drags much more than it needs to in regards to the flow of the game and the story. Um, I appreciate that there's loads of personality, within everything, but it's also just it didn't appeal to me because everything was just I can't really say it other than it being just blah to me. And on a gameplay standpoint, I just wanted to be able to control everything that I could as opposed to, you know, oh, you can input this and now your character is set in this direction until this particular thing is over with, and you just gotta kind of move with the flow of things. A lot of stuff feels very automated, and that kind of throws me off. But again, I 100% admit that I'm spoiled by stuff like Devil May Cry, right? Where you have lots and lots of control at most moments whenever you're doing like pretty much anything really. Um I did play the Comrades expansion of Final Fantasy 15. I played that a lot more than the main game actually. Um I only stopped because I didn't have anyone to play it with. That is literally what stopped me. And from there everything just kind of fell apart there. So yeah. But yeah, tomorrow we get on Devil May Cry 3. That is where we're at. Um let's see. That's understandable to be honest. Final Fantasy 15 is like one of those games you like or not so much. Yeah, a love it or hate it affair. Um, yeah, I'll never bag on anybody who likes it. And it just wasn't for me. Same with Final Fantasy 14, right? I cried to get into Final Fantasy 14 multiple times, and it wasn't something that I was feeling. Um, again, much of my experience with MMOs uh, stems from like much more action oriented stuff. I played loads of Phantasy Star Online 2. And I love that game. Love Phantasy Star Online 2. And that one stuck with me. You're the same way with Final Fantasy X? Yeah. Final Fantasy X is not for everyone. Which, you know, to that point, Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite ones. So, yeah, to each their own. It is what it is. You remember staying up late nights playing the original PSO on Sega Dreamcast. That's kind of why you're going to miss the original visuals after the game gets updated. Yeah, but I mean, it's been a long time coming too, because PSO2 is a very old game at this point. It's a very old game at this point. I remember, like, legitimately running that thing on this old desktop that I used to have, and I'm like, this thing shouldn't be able to run this. What did they do to optimize this to this degree? Actually pretty nutty. MapleStory was the only MMO you ever played. You tried Final Fantasy XIV like 7 times, and you want to play it so bad but just can't get into it. Let's see, and the visual engine has its roots in the original game. Yep. Yes, it does. Final Fantasy XIV, right? So here's my thing. Every single time, almost every single time, all but once, that I tried to get into Final Fantasy XIV, it was at someone else's behest, and they insisted time and again that they would actually like be down to, play it with me and whatnot. And it was not the case. It was not the case at all. Either they simply were not as open to playing as they, professed, or they were willing to play so long as they could just carry me through things that, they felt could be sped through, right? So they basically wanted to dictate my playing experience for me, and that was not a good thing at all. When it came to trying to play by myself, on my own time, at my own pace, I simply didn't like the way that the game felt. And it just didn't stick with me because of that. So it just kind of was what it was. Moved on. Well, finished DMC2. Yes, I did. How's it going, Sally? I did indeed finish DMC2. But yeah, I did not like the feel of Final Fantasy XIV. I tried. I did try. It was not for me. Like I said, I played loads of Phantasy Star Online 2. Pretty much the only thing that keeps me from currently playing Phantasy Star Online 2 is the size of the game. The size of the game, I'm just like, this is too much right now for what I currently have. It's I can't. So damn, that must have been under 2 hours. You just finished doing a couple of things. It was a fun DMC roasting experience. It's DMC2. All you can do is roast it and slog through. Those are the two things, because it's DMC2. It's precisely that. It helps that I went through with Trish. Trish is absolutely not built for Devil May Cry 2. She just overruns the game. DMC2 MST3K edition. Oh my goodness, MST3K. That's something I haven't seen in ages. Ages on ages. Let's see. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Basically, Mystery Science Theater 3000 has like these guys. They watch various movies, sometimes shows, and they just sit there and hound and like bag on them. That's pretty much it. It's like they're represented by these three silhouettes, and that's what they do. That was the show. Let's see. Get a spare external hard drive for PC games. I mean, I have one. I do. I have a terabyte hard drive. But playing things from the terabyte hard drive is spotty. It's spotty at best. So I was like, whether it comes down to downloading to it or just playing stuff from it, Steam doesn't like to play nice with it. So yeah, I'll figure something out eventually though. I'll come back to PSO2 because I did enjoy that one. I enjoyed that one a lot, and I do want to be there when New Genesis is a thing. That is, it looks so nice. New Genesis looks really cool. So like I'm 100% curious about where that's gonna go. You're blessed that your Seagate has never betrayed you. Yet you played the PSO2 New Genesis beta. Oh, nice. Nice. How'd you feel about it? Because I've heard, like, nothing but good things, really. It's like, I've seen gameplay from people. Um, I know Maximilian actually got in on it and, you know, watched some gameplay from that, watched some stuff from other people as well. And like I said, it looks cool. It looks really cool. Let's see. The only flaw was the frame rate sometimes, and the beta only has 6 classes, and you like how simplified the game is. So, well, the frame rate can be fixed. Beta's always going to be uneven. That's what the beta's there for, to help fix things. And that is part of the point of betas. Yeah. Yeah, I'm super interested in seeing like where that's gonna go. There's a whole list of things though that need to be taken into account because there's that whole concept of what does and doesn't carry over, what does and doesn't make an impact between the original PSO2 and PSO2 New Genesis. Um, there's a lot to just keep in mind. Let's see, compared to PSO2 Live, doing a hunter combo even with 3 buttons, that is sick for you. While in New Genesis, it feels more natural. Is it for you? Okay. New Genesis, it feels more natural. Eh, hmm. One of the things that I think was that they did want to try to streamline how controls and stuff felt. Um, so that, end of the day, everyone can kind of feel more fluid when they play, regardless of their class. And I think that's cool. I think that's a very cool approach to things. Hopefully they can strike a good balance. Hopefully, the game in general just feels nice to play. Yeah, we will see. We will see. It should be a very interesting experience. Going from lobby based to open world is a very interesting change. Yeah, I can 100% understand that. 100% understand that. That is a shift to get used to for sure. Um, and PSO2's always been, hey, we got a hub world. From this hub world, you can set missions and stuff. Go out, do those missions, and then you're back in the hub world. That's pretty much how it's largely been handled. Now they're like, no, you got an open world and you can go around and do stuff everywhere. So it's something to get used to. It will be something to get used to. That's it. I appreciate everybody who tuned in for the Devil May Cry 2 stuff. Everybody who's just chilling here like this right now. Just hanging out. Stuff like that. Am I going to play DMC3? Not today. Not today. That's happening tomorrow. I'm aiming at least to do one DMC per day. That is the aim. I may have to split some of the later games up a little. May. Because those get lengthier. It depends on when I start streaming and stuff. But in general, the plan is to do one a day. Cool, be a real quote-unquote gamer and play the OG version of DMC3. If I had it, I actually would. Yeah, this reminds me of this time, I went on this rant way back, a long time ago, when I used to poke my head around the GameSpot website, and they had a particular reviewer, right? This particular reviewer, they reviewed Devil May Cry 3, vanilla Devil May Cry 3, right? And Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox. And I wouldn't have had too many issues with those reviews if it weren't for the fact that they added points to Ninja Gaiden's review score based on the fact that it's difficult. They mentioned that the difficulty gave the game an old school feel, and they were happy to see games that were difficult and didn't want to hold your hand. And they added points thanks to that difficulty. And then when they reviewed Vanilla Devil May Cry 3, the same reviewer subtracted points for the same reason, because the game was difficult. And I'm like, there's no pleasing people. There's just no pleasing people. What is this? I don't understand. You can't take GameSpot seriously ever since they lost to Dustloop. Are we talking like that like just random users on the Dustloop forums, or what are we talking? Because I mean, like what's the situation here? Because from where I'm sitting, the Dustloop forums is full of people that, are probably actually trying to get good at fighting games. So, a situation like that, I don't know. Like, give me the rundown. Remember when this reviewer complained about DMC5 not having music? I remember the I remember the complaints about Devil May Cry 5's music not having variety. That's what I remember. And they didn't know that the music had a dynamic system to it based on your battle ranking as you went along, your style ranking as you fought in fights. So if they were doing poorly, they would just hear the same tracks over and over and over. And that was a complaint to them because they thought that was how the system worked. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's see. The whole side of GameSpot, because they drew the challenge against Dustloop and BlazBlue and Guilty Gear. Oh. Yeah, see, there's a distinct difference here, right? Because so a lot of places, a lot of forum-based places on the internet are in varying quantities in some form or fashion. They're very cesspool-y, like cesspoolish, right? There's no getting around that. But Dustloop, again, it's a place where people literally, go out of their way to write up information and stuff about characters, about matchups, etc., etc. The vast majority of people that are going to be on there, regardless of their general attitude or what have you, right? Like, they are very likely to be someone who wants to, like, actually learn the game, whichever game they're trying to play. So it makes the concept of, like, them in comparison to GameSpot, where you will see that far less. I wouldn't say that, like, everyone on GameSpot is not there to try to learn something about various games, right? But it's very different. The approach is extremely different. So it's like that. It's a weird situation to suss out. Let's see. This one guy did so badly the music never even started playing in the first place. That GameSpot reviewer was stuck at dead weight. That's terrible. Alright. In order to play Devil May Cry 5 and not have any battle music start at all, you're not getting into fights. You're literally doing a pacifist run, which is impossible. So what? What? um, no, that's it though. Like it's you're gonna you're gonna eventually catch some of the dynamic music in Devil May Cry 5. You don't have much of a choice. It's gonna happen, right? But if you're just bad and you don't catch it often, you can come away with the mindset that hey, the music is there's no variety to the music and blah blah blah. But it's like there is. You have to do better. Don't know how it's possible. My brain cannot comprehend when V skates around the stage and his entire kit goes burr, and then it's SSS after 4 inputs. V, oh my god, V. I have thoughts about V, and my thoughts about V begin and end with the concept that V, as a playable character, conceptually is cool, but in regards to actually playing with him, he's very boring. I can't get behind what he does. I understand it, but it is decidedly not Devil May Cry. And I mean, obviously it is. They know what they wanted to implement. They knew what they wanted to do, right? But it's just it's not the same. You play as Nero, and it establishes the same kind of pacing and stuff combat wise that 4 set the bar for, right? With Nero. And then you go to V and it's like, what is this? What is this? What did you do? Yeah, that's about right. Says conceptually seems awesome. In practice, you have to go out of your way to do the cool stuff, and even then, it's limited. Yeah, like you can do some cool stuff with V. You definitely can, but like, eh, it's uh, it that mm, like I can't because it's not even exhausting. It's just blah, right? Like I appreciate Nero and Dante's playstyle so much more after playing with V. I'm just like, this this is so much better. When I got back to Nero after playing V, I was actually smiling. I'm like, I'm good. This works. Let's see. That's a lot. Let's see. My honest take is that I take very few gaming reviewers seriously due to situations like you described. I generally go to people who are experts or more critically avid fans of the game slash genre. Hence the meme GameSpot versus Dustloop when that challenge, like they going off that Blaze Blue is not a game and yet didn't invest the time to understand if the game is really bad or they just don't get it. I like V's taunts and I like his killing mechanic, but overall, a zoner slash summoner in DMC needs a little more thought. IMO. Yeah, yeah. In regards to V, that's about it. It's like taunts are nice, pretty funny stuff. Um, him literally like pantomiming playing music as you're fighting, complete with music to go along with it, is cool. I like that. Um, but again, like a zoner slash summoner, right? It's weird. I wouldn't say a zoner can't work because if it couldn't, we wouldn't have Gunslinger, right? We wouldn't have weapons like the Devil's Sword Dante, things like that. so it can, but the way that it's executed with V is an issue. Lady Lady made me sad. Lady in concept was supposed to basically just be Dante in Gunslinger the character with a couple of extra things. And he just functions so weirdly. She functions so weirdly, and it just feels so strange to play as her. You of course, the flip side is Trish, where Trish is just this amalgamation of a lot of Dante stuff without the style switching. So it makes her feel like easy mode Dante, where if you're just not really all there for like twisting your hands and fingers into pretzels, trying to do style and weapon switching and stuff, you can just pick her and take a lot of that weight out of those options. Not to say that there isn't any kind of like ability that goes into playing her, because there certainly is. But compared to Dante, it is significantly lessened. Am I talking about the grapple hook? I'm talking about the grapple hook with Lady. I'm talking about the fact that she has a weird double jump mechanic where, she fires downward. That's her double jump mechanic, really. Her grenades, the way she utilizes her bayonet on the Kalina end for melee attacks, and it's very slow. It's it makes her feel cumbersome. And considering all the shots and stuff that she should have, with everything that she's supposed to have going on, it's weird because we've seen her use submachine guns, we've seen her use normal pistols, obviously the grenades, and the Kalina and to shoot and like double jump and get around. She can do all of that, but she's just kind of there with a lot of what she does, and she doesn't really feel right. He, somehow still feels better overall than me, but you end up wishing that you could do more. Yeah, she doesn't have any kind of devil trigger mechanic, which makes sense. She's human. It would have been weird for them to give her any kind of devil trigger mechanic. Like, even for the sake of doing it, it would have just been strange. Yeah, there could have been more. They could have gone more in depth with it. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna complain too much about that. It's like, what's done is done. I think some of the weirdness to me, right, was the eventual implementation of Vergil. Because the way that Vergil works, they took aspects from his 3 incarnation. They took aspects from his DMC incarnation. And they took aspects from Dante. And they just rolled it all up into one package. And it works. It actually works really, really well for Vergil. It's kind of nutty to look at that. It's like, whoa, this all comes together really well, actually. Hold on. I'll just enjoy my Nero shenanigans. I'm gonna have to actually tag you in some of my, like, Devil May Cry 5 stuff. Now, Neki, let me see if I can find some of it really quick. Uh... 100% motivated. Let's see. Yep. Here we go. Found one. Right there. Let's see. DMC4 Nero was fun, but DMC5 Nero is just so good. He is. He is. There's another. And I know I've got at least one more set of things. Yes, I did. This one. The one thing I love about DMC5 Nero is the options you gain from the breaker arms. Yes. Yes. The breakers are great. Right there. That is my favorite, like, combo thing that I've done with Nero and DMC5. With the Mega Buster. Mega Buster and Ragtime is still to this day like my favorite combination. It's so good. Yeah, DMC5. Really fun game. Really, really fun game. My only complaint is I wish you could switch the arms without breaking it. Somebody actually tried to like make a mod to do exactly that. I don't know how successful they were, but they tried to implement it in a mod. Also, thank you now, Nikki. Glad you like those. I'll need to get my hands back in order so I can do that stuff again. I did actually do a Bloody Palace attempt a long time ago too that I streamed. I think it's still buried in my highlights, maybe? It could be, I think. I can check for it later. You haven't played DMC in so long. Well, well, hopefully you've been enjoying the streams. You know, minus the DMC2 stuff, because, I mean, DMC2. That was a slog, but it's out of the way. It's out of the way. We're good. We're good. It's a blast from the past with those two. Yeah, yeah. Yes, it is. Anyway, that about covers it for today's stream. Like I said, tomorrow, getting on Devil May Cry 3. That's happening. My only thing, I'm debating whether I want to start fresh or, you know, come in with a loaded file so I can do combo stuff early in and not have to grind everything up. I'm really thinking about just coming in with a loaded file tomorrow and just kind of going from there when I do DMC3. You know, obviously I would bump the difficulty up to adjust for that. But yeah, like, just a thought. I'm like, do I go from the beginning? Let's see, last time you played DMC was 3, and you were grinding, and you hated it. The grind in DMC 3 is real, right? So, I'm just like, do I want to do that? I could just get a loaded file when I start tomorrow, have all my skills, have my styles leveled up, and just kind of go in from the start. I kind of feel like that's what I want to do. So, that's probably the route I'm taking. Stick with the loaded file save and save myself the repeated Cerberus fight. Cerberus isn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, and besides, you'd still have to have a repeated Cerberus fight anyway, because you have to fight him in the beginning, and then you have to fight, well, even then he's optional in that stage, in that later stage. He's still optional there, so. Yeah, well, you can fight him just once, but you'll have to fight at least one boss twice, so. Maybe he'll be one of them. We'll see what happens. Figure out how that's gonna go when we get there. At least he has awesome music. He does. He does. Cerberus' theme was it was memorable. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably go with a loaded file. Just thinking about it. So, yeah, we'll go in. Without having to do the grind. But yeah, like I said, that about covers the stream for today. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. Appreciate everybody who hung out and, you know, chatted with me and stuff. It was interesting. I appreciate everybody who like tunes in my little streams here. Yeah, that's no problem. But for now, I'm gonna go get food. High score, are you? I wish. We'll see. We'll see what happens, though. Yeah, you take it easy too, silly. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody take care. Have a good night.